Imagine you applied for your dream job to the dream company that you always wanted to get into. You are one of those 1,000 participants who had applied and were shortlisted, out of which you are one of those handpicked few candidates who got the opportunity to go into their office for an interview. How are you going to go ahead and answer these questions? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, The Bubble Talks. This is Mansi, and here's where we talk about career development and personal growth. In today's video, I'm going to tell you simple tips of how to ace an interview. The first thing that I want to tell you is about mock interviews. A lot of y'all must know about mocks in a lot of different senses, but it is very important for you to do a mock interview with somebody who is in the industry or the business so that you have a realistic experience of what your actual interview is going to be. It will automate your thinking process and you will be very much confident to answer the question in person. The second thing that I'm going to tell you about is arrive on time. A lot of y'all might be, obviously, we will definitely go on time. On time for an interview does not mean that you reach at that moment. So if you have an interview at 9 a.m., do not reach at 9 a.m. You need to be there 10 to 15 minutes before the interview so that you have the time to breathe, brace yourself, and accommodate with the entire environment of the office. Also make sure that while you are in the waiting lobby, do not just go ahead and sit on your phone. It gives a very bad first impression. Just be there, gather your thoughts, and think about how the interaction is going to be. The third thing that I'm going to tell you about is research. Research is quintessential in any interaction that you have with interviewers so that you not only know about the company but also a little bit about the person with whom you're talking to. Make sure that you go ahead and check out their LinkedIn, see who they're connected to, see what pages they follow so that you can sort of start a hook and a conversation while you're in the room. The fourth thing that I want to talk to you about is presentation. 30% of human perception comes within the first 25 seconds, and that is purely through presentation. So make sure that you look sharp, you're dressed well, you don't slouch, you sit up straight, your hair is well done, and you're not sweaty when you're just going into the interview room. Which is why arrive 10 to 15 minutes prior and make sure that you're well settled in the new environment. The fifth thing that I'm going to tell you about is not only for your interview but also for your long-term career. Always be confident and engaging. It's important for you to have a very firm handshake when you meet somebody new. Also, appear pleasant, have a little smile on your face. Make sure that you're engaging and people want to talk to you. If you're going into an office for an interview, make sure that you're not sitting there just on your phone or with your earphones on. It does not give a good impression. The sixth thing that I'm going to talk to you about is pace yourself and use the STAR method. While you are confident and engaging while you're in the interview, it is also important to be crisp and take 1 or 2 seconds to sort of gather your thoughts and then answer. It is always advisable to answer in a structured method. The method that I recommend is the STAR method, where you start with a situation, the task given to you, the action that you've performed, and the results which were given by you. This is a very effective method and good for your mock interviews as well, so you can sort of answer in that fashion. The seventh thing is a principle that I have followed through my entire life and it has helped me 100%. It is a never failure. That is, be honest and authentic. It is very important for you to build the trust relationship with the interviewer, and not only while you're in the interview but also when you are in a job. You need to have a good relationship with your manager and the people who you're working with. If at all they ask you a question to which you don't have an answer, or they ask you a skill set which you do not have, it's always advisable to go ahead and say, I'm sorry, I do not know this, but I'm willing to learn. Willingness to learn will obviously put you above the other candidates, but do not ever go ahead and lie in an interview or be dishonest about what you are actually capable of. The eighth thing that I'm going to tell you about is bring in a notebook, a pen, and a few copies of your resume. A lot of times interviewers are in their busy schedules and they must have removed 30 minutes out of their busy schedule to sort of come and talk to you. You can't always expect them to have a printed copy of their resume. It's always advisable to have a few extra copies to hand out when you walk into a room. It shows that you're confident, you are prepared, and you're here to do business. The ninth thing that I want to tell you about is be prepared with 2 or 3 follow-up questions. Remember, getting a job is like dating. It's a two-way relationship. It does not just work when only one party is asking question and the other one is answering. As much as it is important for the company to like you, it is important for you also to like the role and the company and just the sort of work that you might be doing. So always go into the room with 2 or 3 questions in mind and make sure that they are important and not just something like, okay, tell me about the team size. It has to be impactful so that the interviewer knows that you've done your homework and you're genuinely interested in this position. The 10th thing that I'm going to tell you about is something that people don't do these days, especially not in India, but trust me guys, if you all do this, it will definitely make an impact, which is send thank you notes. A lot of times earlier people would actually send in written thank you notes within 24 to 48 hours of the interaction. If you can't go ahead and give a written thank you note, it's okay. You can always write an email to the interviewer and sort of tell them thank you for taking the time and talking to you, and it was really engaging and you loved the interaction. So always remember guys to say thank you and to be nice about it. Most of these tips that I have spoken about are relevant for an in-person interview. But as times are progressing, a lot of us are moving virtually for interviews and interactions. I will be soon putting up a video on how to give an interview virtually and what are the do's and the don'ts that you should be following. If you like this video, do share, like and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. It's The Bubble Talks.